How many guys, clap if you don't eat meat. Anyone here not eat meat? Clap if you don't eat meat. Okay? Now, clap if you don't eat meat because you saw a documentary or you read a book that freaked you out about the meat industry. Clap if that's the situation. A few people. Now, clap if you've just seen that stuff in general, like video of a factory farm or read something that like freaked you out about the food industry. Clap if you've seen that stuff, yeah? It's a lot of people. Now, clap if you saw that stuff and you're like, oh my God, that's disgusting, it's cruel, it's inhumane. The government definitely needs to properly regulate the meat industry. There's no excuse for this. The government definitely needs to properly regulate the meat industry. But in the meantime, I kind of still gotta eat meat because I don't want to feel weird and hungry all the time. Isn't that so frustrating? Because no one wants to support that stuff, but you know what the problem is? Salads need to step their game up, okay? Like, salads aren't bringing it hard enough. Vegetables aren't bringing it hard enough. If food is a basketball game, meat is killing it. Meat is just like, ribs, fried chicken, steak. Meanwhile, vegetables are like, does anyone want any cauliflower? What about some snow peas? Does anyone like Brussels sprouts? Yeah, I'll take those Brussels sprouts and I'll wrap them in some bacon. That's how powerful meat is, right? You go into a kitchen, you smell bacon. Oh, are you cooking bacon right now? Is that bacon you're making? Is there any way you have a second piece of bacon that I could eat as well? Is there any... No one's ever walked into a kitchen like, are you steaming carrots right now? Are you steaming carrots? I can smell the steam from the other room. Is that some broccoli and cauliflower? Are you making a medley right now? Are you making a motherfucking steamed vegetable medley right now? Oh, don't tell me that's brown rice in that bowl. Don't tell me that's brown rice. You better fix me a plate now. Even if you don't eat meat, even if you're just eating vegetables, do you know everything that goes into the vegetables? There's all this messed up stuff with vegetables too, like child labor and all these issues. Like, how come every vegetable is always in season, right? Every vegetable is always in season, right? You never go to the grocery store and they're like, we don't have asparagus at the moment. They're just not growing. No. They have everything all the time. Because if it's not growing here, they just go to South America. And there's some guy with a sword going up to little kids like, Dígame, pick the asparagus, pick it. People in America need to eat it and see if it really makes their pee smell weird. Just never Google how anything you consume is created. Just never Google it, because it's always gonna bum you out. I used to buy this orange juice called Simply OJ, because I'm dumb and I see words like simple and natural, and I'm like, okay, well clearly there must be a grandma squeezing oranges into a bucket, and then she pours that in a little bottle. No. That's what was happening for like 3 months, and then Coca-Cola bought the company, they slit the grandma's throat, and now a bunch of little Asian kids just jizz into a banana peel, and that's Simply OJ. Something like that. I can't quite remember the specifics, but something like that. Everything, man. Eggs. You know how they make eggs? This is how they make eggs, okay? They genetically engineer 2 different types of chicken. One type of chicken is called a layer chick. Just lays eggs, right? And they have another type of chick called a broiler chick. This is a chicken they like pump up with a bunch of hormones, so it has like huge breasts and legs, and that's the one they use for the meat. And I'm reading this, I'm like, well, what happens to the male layer chicks? They serve no purpose, right? They can't lay eggs, they can't be used for meat. What happens? They just get murdered in insane ways. Like, they'll take all the male layer chicks and they'll throw them into a big chicken wood chipper. Another thing they'll do is they'll put them in a big plastic vat and just put a lid on it and suffocate them to death. And yeah, it's a bummer. Like, none of us is into that. Like, we'd all check no on that box. But the problem is this kind of information, this kind of footage, it just hasn't been seen in the right context to elicit the kind of mass outrage that would actually result in some changes. Right now it's in these obscure documentaries or books or whatever, but what if it was in a different context? Like, what if there was a CNN camera crew that did a raid at rapper Ja Rule's house, and they saw he had a big plastic vat where he was just suffocating chickens to death, we'd all be like, Ja, you monster, what are you doing? And he'd be like, I'm sorry, I just wanted some eggs. I had to make ethical compromises in order to achieve economies of scale. It's murder. I'll admit, when I first wrote that joke, I was like, but will people remember Ja Rule? Oh, how foolish I was. If you're not familiar with Ja, he had a strange string of hits a few years ago where every song followed this very strange formula where they'd have a woman with a very beautiful voice, like Jennifer Lopez or Ashanti, and they would sing the hook. And then Ja would come in and sound like someone that was getting stabbed in the stomach through their ulcer. Like every single song was just like, R-U-L-E, what's my motherfucking name? R-U-L-E, what am I doing here? I feel like I gotta do that whole bit on a talk show or something, because whenever you do a bit like that on a talk show, the person always gets in touch with you. So I feel like I have to do it just so I can get that amazing phone call one day where it's just like, Aziz? Yeah, who is this? Ja Rule, baby! Saw the way you integrated me into that bit about factory farming in the egg industry. I never knew that shit. I'm never eating meat again. You know where I can get some more literature on this subject? Maybe a pamphlet on how to adjust to a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle? I'll put it on there. Soon, Ja starts getting really passionate about the cause. He starts filming his own PSAs. Every day, millions of chickens are living in tiny cages the size of a piece of paper. They're shitting all over each other in these disease-ridden factory farms. This is the meat we put in our mouths. This is the meat we put in our children's mouths. If you think the government should properly regulate the meat industry, holla, holla. Guys, if only you knew how long it's taken me to find the perfect stand-up bit to showcase my frustrations with the meat industry and my flawless Ja Rule impersonation, then you'd know my struggle.